the problem and the obstacle that occurs with people becoming vegan is they don't understand how much effort and knowledge it requires to eat a correct, balanced diet with veganism. They don't understand. And what it ends up leading to is an excessive intake of processed vegan products, which ends up super high in vegetable oils, which are horrible for you. Those themselves are going to deliver cardiovascular disease and inflammation in the body. They're eating tons of carbohydrates and sugar. They're not getting a balanced nutrient profile and whole foods and beans and rice. They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's not as easy. It's much harder. It's way harder to eat vegan on the go than it is to eat meat. It just is. Or to eat, I should say balanced, more balanced meal. I have a lot of clients, I stopped taking vegans because it was just too much of a hassle to get the results. I will tell you that. Like getting somebody ripped for a show who's a vegetarian or vegan, the diet just becomes too repetitive. And every time you lower carbohydrates, you're lowering protein too.
Yeah.
And it ends up being a problem that, well, luckily now they have a lot of vegan alternatives, like the tofu and the tempeh and all these other, fake burger meats and stuff like that, which can be helpful, but it's still, it's processed. It's still got tons of fat in it, tons and tons of sodium. You look at the sodium content in a lot of those vegan replacements, it's like you're at 4,000 milligrams of sodium right there, and they've even added a salt for the day.
Yeah, and it looks like
you gotta make it taste good somehow.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it looks like a bad science experiment when you look at the ingredients. Like if you turn over the ingredients and it looks like you can't pronounce even one of the words, probably not a good decision for you.
Yeah, I always tell my vegans, listen. When I used to work with them, even they come to me, listen, like, I know what you want for your goal, but your goal is obtainable. I can't say that's not. It's going to be a lot harder, but I would really suggest you try and at least incorporate whole pasture-raised eggs, maybe incorporate some Greek yogurt, maybe incorporate some fish, some salmon or something. Like, you don't have to eat tons of it, but like just work with it, because you're going to feel better. Oh, this is a great example. I had a women's physique girl, and she was vegan, and I worked with her before, and she came with me, and I said to her, listen, this isn't going to work for me. I go, we're going to have to incorporate something else. I go, can you work with white fish at least twice a week? I mean, twice a day, white fish. We can do eggs, and we can do your vegan protein. And she goes, yes. Dude, she changed that in 2 weeks. She goes, Chris, I'm so strong. She's like, I feel so good. She's like, my digestion, my bloatings went away. I feel super strong. And as prep goes on, she goes, I think I'm ready to try chicken. I'll do chicken now. And I tell her, and she's like, I don't like the store-bought chickens. I recommended Bell and Evans chicken, the higher end chicken.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I like it. Dude, she got peeled.
Yeah.
She had strided glutes. She was hard as nails, and she crushed her class. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring meat down, but I'm definitely not gonna go vegan after that, because she noticed the strength differences she felt. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that fish and that chicken was her trend.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing to say there, because I didn't have a healthy respect for carbohydrates. And I think I was pretty young when I started reading, like, are you familiar with it's Mario Di Pasquale? He wrote The Anabolic Solution. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
I was reading that pretty young. I think Mark Dugdale had turned me on to him, and he was utilizing, I guess, kind of that strategy for a long time. But when I started to realize, especially competing in a natural bodybuilding stage, you're looking to use your food to create an anabolic environment, or as much as you can, more so. That was what gave me this respect for what carbohydrates can do to your body when you're actually regulating them and you're controlling when they come into play and how they come into play and the types that come into play. But some of those lessons, I don't know if they're necessarily learned. And obviously it's like you said, like it is, it's different for everyone. Everyone's body's different, but those lessons don't really make sense until you do it. Or that's a really good example, because you were taking someone who had a devoid in their diet, and then you put it in, and then you really see what happens and whether it's beneficial or not beneficial. Because it could, things go the other way too at times when, you put something in. I've had a lot of people that rice doesn't work for them. They get super bloated. It doesn't sit well.
Yeah, same here.
Yep, a lot. Yeah. And you have to come up with other solutions for that. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It really makes a lot more sense once you actually do it and you go through one of those situations where you haven't had it, now you get it, and now you really see what it does for you.
And one thing to expand on that is when you age, digestion changes.
Yeah.
You ever hear people say, well, I've been eating this my whole life. It wasn't a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it hasn't become a problem now. Because I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I've been back in 09 bodybuilding. I loved oatmeal. I used to eat oatmeal like 4 times a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't even eat oatmeal once now. You
No,
know,
Sure.
neither
my
can I.
stomach's like,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
So like
No.
things change, digestion changes. You're an ever evolving, aging body.